Okay, well, we'll get kicked off now. So obviously you can tell I am not Neve McGlade, so there has been just a slight change in who's going to be hosting this. So my name is Saoirse McVeigh. I am a product market executive here at Hurree, and we are joined here today by Johan. Um, and Johan, do you want to just give us a brief rundown of who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so hi everybody. My name's Johanne Jefferson, and I run Ivy Hill Digital, which is a small marketing agency in Northern Ireland. And we work mostly with small and medium-sized companies, everything from website optimization to social media marketing, events, email marketing, and all that kind of stuff.
So Johan, how did your reporting look like before Hurree?
So before Hurree, everything was manual. So we were creating um, Frankenstein's monsters of screen grabs and um, stuff from Excel, having to pull everything from like social media metrics and going into Google Analytics separately and then looking at the email marketing separately. So it was taking a really long time just to pull everything together. And then just because it was all grabbing stuff from everywhere, it was the same thing every month. You had to start again from scratch. So you couldn't really just update numbers or whatever. It was the same process every month, just taking ages.
And what did you find like was a frustrating part of the whole process of trying to gather your data and find where everything was?
So like for the client, the value is not just in having the report there, but it's in the time that we can spend looking at all the data, looking for ways to improve and all that kind of thing. So it felt like you were wasting time pulling all the stuff together that you could have been spending more time on the actual analysis and getting the good stuff out of it. So that was really frustrating. And also just that it's the most boring thing ever having to go through all those different things, pull out all the screenshots and stuff. So it's just, you didn't look forward to it. Whereas I quite like data. I love looking at reports. I love seeing how we can come up with strategies to address these things. So yeah, it was just a frustrating way to do that.
And had you looked for any other tool before looking for Hurry?
Well, I'd been using Looker Studios, it's the Google product, before, and great for website metrics and anything with any of the Google products. But once you had to start adding in third-party connectors to get access to the social media or email marketing or anything, it became quite clunky and really costly. Um, and they were all like third-party connectors rather than, people making them rather than the companies making them. You weren't really sure which one to go for and that kind of thing. So it just became too expensive for a lot of my clients to be able to do that kind of thing. And that's why we ended up having to just do everything manually instead.
Yeah, we do find that quite a lot with our clients, especially all the agencies that we are having coming on board now. That it's trying to find the data collection and getting everything into the one platform, and the cost really as well from using different platforms and getting it all into the one. Um,
And even just the management of that, if one of the connectors stops working and you're sitting trying to figure it out, but it's not your thing, um, whereas using something like Hurree, it's all done for you. So if there's a problem with connector, you guys are working on it. It's not something that we have to try and fix, which is great.
yeah, that's why we do love having our in-house development team doing all the creating all the connectors in-house rather than having to outsource and try to speak to someone else to create them and get a bug fixed or whatever it is. Um, how's your experience been with Hurry so far? You had previously used us a few years ago and then you came back on board. Could you tell us just your experience with Hurry so far in comparison to before?
Yeah, so I came across Hurree at a social media conference, and when I heard James talking about it, I was like, that's exactly what I need. So I got signed up, really great onboarding, good PDF guides and some video guides on how to get everything set up. At that time, it was very early days from Hurree, so there were some things that I thought um, were missing that we could maybe do, and all of my feedback was taken on board, and the ideas that were useful and they thought that other people would find useful as well have been taken on board. So then my client work changed a little bit and I wasn't really doing a lot of reporting. So I stopped using it for a while, but I've recently come back to it because I have more client work where this is the kind of things they're looking for. So in that time period of probably about 2 years, um, the Hurree platform has grown massively. Like the number of connectors is unbelievable. The variety in the widgets, even how the dashboards are displayed, being able to add in commentaries and divide it up by sections. Everything is, it's a lot easier to use now than it was a couple of years ago. A lot more holistic. You know, there's very little. There's certainly everything I need to do, and there's very little I think that you couldn't do with it. Whatever kind of business or agency that you're working with.
Yeah, that's exactly what some like the feedback we've been getting as well from a lot of our other agencies that came on board. The fact that now we're able to, since when you first joined with us, you weren't able to, we didn't have half as many connectors. We have now over 80 connectors, and we're able to even have duplicate connectors. So you can have a limited amount of numbers of HubSpots or social media ones or any of your CRM connectors. And we do connect with like hundreds of different types of ones as well, and loads of hundreds of data points. And it can be used for like social media and email marketing and even finance as well. So you're able to have that all in one platform for everything instead of having to jump around.
And I
Um,
think it's really good for that. So I personally don't have clients who would have a real sales and separate marketing function. But if you're in the kind of business where sales is separate to marketing and they only talk a little bit at a monthly meeting, it's a really good tool for bringing all of that data together to look at the bigger picture. And maybe for C-suite people who just want to see the top stats for both sides, I think it's really good for that.
Yeah, I think there's another feature as well that we get on the question we get is, can we build one report and scale it across all our clients with the feature of the templates? And I believe we have the customized templates coming very soon in the product as well. So you're able to either at the moment clone a dashboard and create a template for your clients and how exactly what you want to look like instead of having to do it all manually. You're able to do it that way as well. So it saves you time as well that way. Um, has this, what would your top three features be for the product at the moment?
I think that you can give your clients access to the live board if you want, but you can also just send them a snapshot. So giving that option for the different kinds of people that need to see the data is really good. It's really helpful being able to add in a commentary. So especially if you have to share the insights with people that aren't very technical or they don't know what an impression is or a click rate or things like that, that you can add little notes in to explain things. It saves you time. You don't have to go in a meeting then to explain it. It's all in the report and they can just get in touch with you if they've got real questions. Um, and then the AI tool as well. So on a lot of the widgets, the AI tool can do summaries and it can make suggestions of things. And it's also able to do predictions. So if you need help trying to set KPIs or targets or whatever, then the AI tool for some of the widgets can make projections of what it thinks like follower growth might be or whatever based on the data it's able to pull in. So that can help you with benchmarking and yeah, saying, right, I think we can grow 10% in this area or whatever. And it's based on more fact than just pulling a number out of the air.
Yeah, and you are as well in the platform, you're able to set your benchmarks as well for different widgets. And you're able to just, when you're scrolling through it, you're able to see if it's a traffic light system, basically, if you're on target, if you're in the middle of it, or if you're hitting below target as well. You have that availability to look that way as well. And for the features as well, like a live dashboard, you're able to send to your clients, and they're able to see the live data straight from the source. So they're no more constantly back and forth being like, what's the update on this? You're able to send that live dashboard to them now as well.
And that's brilliant for things like Black Friday, or special offers like that, where everything's moving really quickly on a daily basis. It means you don't have to go and sort out a report every morning and download it and send it. They can just go in and see it every morning and see what's happening, which is a huge time saver and allows you to then go and optimize campaigns instead of sitting doing downloads and emails and admin kind of stuff.
Exactly. And how long would you say you have saved from coming back to Hurree with all your reportings and stuff?
It easily took me an hour, at least an hour per client, just to pull all the data together and then having the time to go through it and decide like what was working, what we needed to focus on. Whereas once you've got the template set up, like that bit. It's a couple of minutes just to update it to that month or whatever, and then that gives you the full amount of time to then spend on um looking at the data and making the suggestions and that kind of thing. So, easily an hour a month per client that's saved from that kind of stuff, giving you more strategic time back.
Exactly. You don't have every time, all the time in the day to do everything, so it gives you the more time to focus on the real work you need to do.
Yeah, and that's
Um,
it's like because my reporting would only really be monthly, but for people who have to do reports weekly or daily, like the cumulative time saving of that every day or week or month is massive.
yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, and what one piece of advice you would give to agencies that are still manually reporting?
Do yourself a favor and get a tool like Hurree to do it for you, because honestly, it just makes you feel really good when you go in and you see the dashboard there every month, and then you just having to do your commentary and to look at the analytics and see what's working, rather than like actually look forward to reporting now instead of dreading the actual pulling it all together. And it's not as expensive as you might think it is, but the what it gives you in return is really good for your client, good for everybody. And it keeps everything consistent and, yeah, more professional and slick, definitely, than having to do it all yourself manually.
That's great, Johan. Thank you very much for joining us today.